Bogota does get a bad rap for its weather, but honestly, it's not that bad. Plus, the people are really nice and the food is great.
Bogota is an awesome city. Some people complain about the weather, which at times can be a little chilly, but the weather can also be perfect. It just depends what you're doing. Now, I've been to Bogota several times, and this was the first time that I actually got cold. So, definitely when you go to Bogota, bring a jacket. Now, it does rain and drizzle a lot in Bogota, but for outdoor activities, I think the weather can be absolutely perfect. From my experience, the rain doesn't last that long and it's sporadic or just, happens throughout the day or the night. So it's really not that big of a deal. And like I said, it does get a little cold depending on what you're doing. Now, Bogota is perfect walking weather and it's also great for doing things like working out in the park. Plus, it seems like everyone in Bogota has a bicycle. I mean, there's so many people riding bikes that it's almost dangerous to walk. I mean, you have these bicycles cutting in and out of every direction when you're trying to walk. It's pretty annoying, but I do see that it is a good way to get around town. Anyways, Bogota has perfect weather for outdoor activities. Now, the last time I came to Bogota, I stayed in Candelaria, which was very close to the Gabriel Marquez Garcia Library, or at least it was in the same general area. I would go there pretty much every day because there was a Juan Valdez coffee house right next to it where I'd get my iced coffee. Growing up, I had a friend who was obsessed with the book 100 Years of Solitude, which obviously was written by Gabriel Marquez Garcia, and probably was required reading for most of you, at least people in the United States. However, when I went to the library, I actually saw some amazing quotes that I hear all the time, but I did not know that he was the actual ones who came up with the quotes. Now, as many of you know, the book can be very deep and a little confusing. However, I was not aware of how many interesting quotes Gabriel had that I have heard from time to time, but I just never knew they were his quotes. Some of the more interesting quotes are: it is not true that people stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams. The next one is: he who awaits much can expect little. Nobody deserves your tears, but whoever deserves them will not make you cry. No medicine cures what happiness cannot. All human beings have three lives: public, private, and secret. Sex is a consolation you have when you can't have love. There is always something left to love. Now, Gabriel has a ton of great quotes, and I'm glad I was able to stop by the library and be made aware of them. Anyways, I had a great time in Bogota and definitely recommend the city. Again, just bring a jacket. The major downside, in my opinion, is the traffic and the public transportation. Now, there are buses everywhere. It's just difficult to determine which buses go to what areas and how to get around. It's pretty confusing there. As for the taxis, they're everywhere. I mean, you can always find a taxi, but be forewarned, they seem to make up their own prices. They do have a meter, which most, I believe, give you the distance, and then they convert it into the Colombian Peso. I mean, they have these little lanyards sitting over the seat where you kind of can read the mile and gauge what the fee is going to be, and then when you actually stop, the meter converts it. However, the taxis always seem to have an excuse to increase the price. They tack on their own fee, and some of the reasons they gave me were because it was dark outside, because it was Sunday, and some just say for the cargo, whatever that means. And I even went with a friend who was born and raised in Bogota, and the taxi did the exact same thing. I just asked her to handle everything, and so that they didn't, assume that it was just a naive tourist. And the same thing, she told me that they do increase the prices a little bit because the traffic is so heavy and gas is expensive, so they kind of offset it that way. But still gives you this uncomfortable feeling not knowing what the final price will be. You're trying to decide where to go for the evening. So I didn't really like the guessing game. Taxis are they're all over the place, but just on that, be careful. They always seem to tack on a price, no matter what time of day you go. At least that's from my experience. Anyways, though, I do recommend Bogota. It was a very fun city. You guys take care and have a great day.